Hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome to another episode of the Imperial Collector. I'm your host, Oliver Dean McCurry Jr., the Imperial Collector, and we've got a good show for you today. Boba Fett? Boba Fett? Where? Right there. Right up there. But not quite that Boba Fett. That's the Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi. You'll see right up there, that's a standee that I actually got at a yard sale today. Pretty cool standee there. Got a good price on him. Today we're going to be kind of doing an episode based on, excuse me, the Mandalorian series and the Book of Boba Fett, because we're going to go over two figures today. Now these are figure reviews / sort of unboxing, because technically I've already taken both of these figures out of the box, and I have went ahead and displayed them like I want them, and I have them up on my shelves. But I've taken them down, dusted them off slightly, and we're going to go over those today. We're going to go over Fennec Shand, who you first see in The Mandalorian, and then you see her in the Book of Boba Fett. She's the female counterpart to Boba Fett. I was thinking, at some point they would make her like the love interest of Boba Fett, but I'm not sure. Still could happen. A lot of things could happen. We'll see. But we're going to be unboxing that figure, or reviewing and unboxing that figure. And then we're going to go over Boba Fett, primarily from Book of Boba Fett, because he has repainted his reclaimed armor. He got his armor from the Mandalorian, from Din Djarin, that got it from Cobb Vanth, who bought it from some Jawas, who evidently got it from the Sarlacc pit. Somehow they found it. I don't know. Maybe there's a story out there in a comic book or a novel or something that tells that. I haven't come across that yet. But we did go over Cobb Vanth and showed his armor when he had Boba Fett's armor. And then we also, in one of the earlier episodes of the Imperial Collector, went over the 2-pack of Tammo Morrison, basically his head sculpt, his face as Boba Fett without his armor, and he had on an outfit of the Sand People when he lived with them, and then also the second figure was when he first got his armor back. It was really scuffed up, and more scuffed up than the armor there, because it was also repainted. As you'll recall, being a Star Wars fan, which I'm sure you are, in Attack of the Clones, the movie, you'll see that Jango Fett is the father of Boba Fett. Technically, Boba Fett is a clone of Jango, but the genetic thing that's in there to make them grow up fast was not put in there, so he grew up normally. So he was a child to begin with, and Boba Fett was raising him as his son. Mace Windu killed Jango Fett. Boba got his armor, repainted it green at some point, and as the years went by, he was a bounty hunter and got in a lot of situations, so it got scuffed up and everything. But the armor you see with that Boba Fett originally got back from Din Djarin, it's really beat up because it's been in the digestive juices of Carcuna, the Sarlacc, in the Sarlacc pit. So, yeah, it's really scuffed up. But we went over those earlier, and this is that armor that he's repainted, and it looks all nice. And he has on a little different outfit. You know, he kind of spiffs up a little bit. He has on all black and like black pants, and it just looks good. So we'll go over that figure as well. Excuse me, yawn number one. That was a big yawn, and it is actually just 10:17 in the morning when I'm filming this episode. So like I say, I don't know. For some reason, there's yawns. We need that yawn counter right in the back that counts how many times I yawn. Okay, well, let's get started with the unboxing of Padme Amidala. Whoops. That was a joke. She's actually right over here. You can't see her. You can see the bottom of her dress. But we're going to go over those later on. But no, this is one of the female characters from the Star Wars universe, and that is Fennec Shand, played by Ming-Na Wen, I believe is her name. Yes. And if you recognize her, you might remember her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was real big as a character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I did watch for a while, but kind of got out of the Marvel stuff there for a little bit. And for some reason, my white screen that I have on the TV to do a background has started playing commercials again. I don't know why, but I remembered this time to mute it. If you'll remember in some episodes previous, I didn't have it muted and it started an advertisement for something. I don't remember what it was. So there's the box right there. I'm not sure, y'all, number 2, because I bought it from eBay. They normally have those like wraparound pieces of cardboard that have pictures of the character. I'm not sure if this one originally had it and I just didn't get it because I did buy it used, but it was very, very like new. But that's the box cover. You see her there, and she does have her helmet. And then if you're a fan of this show and you watch this show a lot, you know I'm a big fan of these inserts. This one's kind of boring though. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the one that was in Sabine Wren. It's very boring. It's just the figure, no special pose, none of her weapons or her helmet or anything like that, or Boba Fett's not in the background or anything. It's just kind of plain. So a little disappointing there, we'll have to say. There's not a lot of accessories that are in here that I did not get out and have with the figure, which you'll see her right here, which I'll bring in the forefront. She does have, this is the packaging. She does have, if you can see, an extra blaster right here. And then she came with like a little burlap sack with some coins, some Republic coins. And then she came with like a bottle of water. Similar, it's actually the same bottle. Well, not the same one exactly, but it's the same mold from that bottle of drink that I showed you that Cobb Vanth had. So I'm not going to take this stuff out because really there's hardly anything here. She does have some extra hands. Number 3. She does have some extra hand. Well, let's go ahead and show these. Hold on. Let's do this proper. No cutting corners on the Imperial Collector. But for some reason we had a pair of scissors and had to cut a corner. Corner cutting was the order of the day. Yeah, you can see it a little better here. That's that same bottle of drink with like the blue liquid and like the netting over it. These coins are really neat. These are Republic credits in coin form, and I don't know if you can see it, but they actually have the symbol of the New Republic. Don't know if you can see that. I hope you can, but it is that symbol. You know, it's like a bird with like a head, and it's got like this, and then it does have a real little burlap sack here. Now this I didn't actually see right away. She has a knife that goes into the butt of her gun right here, which I for some reason did not take out and put in her gun. Whoops. Which I might do that. Excuse me, but yes, little knife there. She has several different hands with black gloves on. They really kind of feel leathery too. They look leathery and feel leathery. She has some fist hands. She has some gripping hands. She has just some kind of like regular pose hands. You'll see there. Just kind of like a pose. She does have an additional blaster. That's kind of like a generic Star Wars blaster. Almost looks a lot like Han Solo's blaster. So that's basically her accessories, other than the ones that I actually have with the figure that, like I said, I've actually already got unboxed and display ready. So we'll take a look at her right now. I'm going to go ahead and get this box set back up so I can put it in box storage, which I have behind here. At some point I'm going to have to figure out something else to do because I could build a fort out of the boxes. Fort Hot Toys box. Okay, so here's the actual figure. She has a really awesome uniform, really. It's like a commando uniform. It almost reminds me of I believe they're called Shadow Troopers from the Obi-Wan series. But look at the detail on that figure's face of Ming-Na Wen. I mean, the hair is like real hair. She has the little pieces of hair in the front. She has a braid there that you'll see her braid in the back, and it actually goes over her shoulder there. Her shoulder pad is like leather. Her boots and her gauntlets, her gloves are like real like leathery feel there. She has this big weapon. Excuse me. I think that's the first sneeze from the Imperial Collector. Goodness, everything's just happening. So her outfit is really cool. Her jacket is bendable, like the bottoms of it is bendable, so you could pose the figure like it was blowing in the wind or something like that. Her gun is like a cool blaster. Sorry, goodness gracious. Her gun is a neat blaster rifle, and it's got a lot of detail to it, including this neat shoulder strap. It's kind of hanging down. It has real metal hooks, like carabiners, that are hanging on the side of it there that you'll see. It's really awesome, really detailed. To be kind of like a side character, definitely in The Mandalorian, and sort of in Boba Fett. She's kind of more front and center there, but there's a lot of detail, and just a really cool figure here. You'll see it does say Fennec Shand on there with the Star Wars logo as well on the base. And the base is one we've seen where it's like sand, kind of a rough to the feel there with the grain. She does have a standard crotch grabber stand, and it's just really awesome. I mean, you would think that was real hair that she has there instead of just plastic. So there is Fennec Shand, awesome figure there, counterpart to Boba Fett. Oh, before I set her aside, she does have her helmet here, and now this is interesting. A lot of the figures that we've unboxed, that we've gotten from Hot Toys, if they have helmets, they're a separate head sculpt. It's not that you actually fit the helmet down over the actual character's head. It's that it's a separate head sculpt. You have to pop one head off and put one on. This one is different. This one is actually two pieces. That's the top of it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of those helmets that the Rebels wore on Hoth, on Endor in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But they were a cream color there. And then she has like a face guard here for the rest of her face, except for her eyes. And now this actually just fits down over the figure, and the front part just snaps up in there. Now, I've heard from other collectors that, there is like a little rubber protection in the mask to keep it from scratching up. The hair and the face is plastic, and so I really don't want to try to put it on there, because if I do one little scratch or something, I don't want to mess that up. But yeah, that is the complete helmet that she does wear several times in The Mandalorian. First of all, that's where we first see her in The Mandalorian. She has on that helmet, and then she also wears it in Book of Boba Fett. So, now, here's who you've been waiting on. Boba Fett, as seen in the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian. I believe this one specifically says that it is from The Mandalorian, because it is that yellowish color that we've seen from, all of the Hot Toys from every series has like a different color scheme on these little cards. And this one does have one. You'll see Boba Fett in just different poses there. And like I said, his armor is a little different. It looks new. He actually is more cleaned up and polished in this iteration of him than ever before we've seen him. Because from the start, when we first see Boba Fett, he's pretty scratched up and everything. Then here's another one on the side. I got this one from eBay as well, so this is a little damaged on here, but, it's just the box. Figure's in pristine condition. Now, I wasn't disappointed with this card insert. This card insert's pretty cool, because they have the fire from the gauntlet that looks pretty realistic, and it's kind of a neat card insert there. and you have a little bit in the back there of a display, and it's pretty cool. So we'll give that one an A instead of an F that I've been giving the last ones recently. Now, in this scenario, we definitely don't have a lot of accessories. Just one little pack of ones that we have. Now, there was two of these. Normally when I buy the Hot Toys figures, if there's a deluxe one, I get the deluxe one. We've had the deluxe Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian. We've had the deluxe Luke Skywalker from the Mandalorian. We've had definitely the deluxe, because it was a 2-pack and had a lot of accessories, the Boba Fett, both without his armor and with his armor. We've had, I think maybe a couple more deluxe figures. IG-12 was a deluxe figure. It has some accessories with it. This one does have a deluxe edition that comes with Jabba the Hutt's throne that Boba Fett takes over. He actually kills Bib Fortuna and takes it away from him. But in this case, I couldn't find that one at a good price, and honestly, I didn't have a place for the throne, and I didn't really need it because I wanted to have the character standing up. There are a few extra accessories you do get with the deluxe one. I think there's like a hologram you get and something else, but that's okay. We got some accessories here with it, and I'm not posing them with it, so it's really not a big deal. So you see the fire feature. Now, we have seen this before with some other figures. We saw it with Cad Bane in that episode. I do have it attached to the gauntlet of the other Boba Fett that we have, the one with the armor right after he got it back from Din Djarin that's scuffed up. I always love that fire feature, as well as the fire feature coming out of the rockets, which this one did not come with, but the deluxe one does. So if you're interested in collecting Hot Toys, but you want that deluxe figure, it is out there. And it does have that fire feature from the rocket boosters on his jetpack, as well as shooting the rocket out, which we have all of that with the deluxe Boba Fett we got in that 2-pack. He has some hands. This one's kind of a, I don't know what you would call that one. His hand's kind of doing like this. I'm not sure what that is. And then there's also another feature. This is kind of cool, where he can shoot a, I'm trying to think of what you call that. It's like a dart, but it's meant to like hook into a wall, kind of like Batman, where he shoots it out of a little launcher and it goes into a wall and he can fly across something, They've done that in Star Wars a couple times. Luke Skywalker had one attached to his utility belt in the first one, in A New Hope, when he grabs Princess Leia and they swing across some type of opening in the Death Star. It was not fuel powered. It was not powered to like shoot out, but he kind of had a little a piece of rope with like a little hook on the end. Grappling hook is what I'm trying to say, grappling hook. But he just threw his where Boba Fett can shoot it out like Batman. Okay, now we'll see the figure. Again, ready to build that box for it. And we will later on at some point have an all Boba Fett episode where we go over the Boba Fett figures, the 3.75 inch figures. I have some other different figures that I have in the collection. I have a prototype Boba Fett figure. Of course, I have the young Boba Fett figure. Several different ones we'll go over. But here he is. This is definitely one of my favorite figures because it's so detailed. If you can see there, this Boba Fett is very detailed, trying to get that glare off there. I love his gun that he has. I'm going to lift him up off the stand here. Just a very detailed figure. And I do have a fan going here, so it's kind of blowing here in the wind a little bit. He has leather. It's like leather on his belt. His belt has that little braided feature in the back of it. His armor is very clean and polished because he did that in the series. He cleaned it up real good. Look at that rocket launcher. Look at the detail on there. And he does have his gun here. He has a separate sidearm there, and like a leather pouch that he can take out. This is one of those jetpacks that is magnetic, so it just pops right on there. I mean, look at the detail of that jetpack. And of course, if you take it off, you can see he does have his back armor back there as well. So they didn't, a lot of times the figures will, if they make an accessory that comes off or something like that, they won't think about what it looks like when it comes off. And like I said before, unlike Fennec, the helmet is just a head sculpt. I mean, it's just, that's a separate head sculpt. There's no, Boba Fett face up under there. Of course, the visor goes down like that. The head can swivel and turn around. There's cloth up under here. These boots are really look like leather. They feel like leather. They have a leather texture to them. Really cool. The cloth there is just an awesome figure. And he does have the standard crotch grabber there, which we've seen several times. He does have Boba Fett listed there. It says Star Wars. And this is another one of those stands that looks like it could be the floor of a Star Destroyer or, somewhere, some building, but this one is kind of like a grayish. We've seen it in different color. We've seen it in a dark black. We've seen it in a darker gray. This one has a little brown wash to it. So it could be just the deck plating of some type of ship. But I love this figure. It's very detailed. I love his gun that he has there. The jetpack. Boba Fett is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite figures from the Star Wars universe. So I've really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, later on we're going to have a fully exclusive Boba Fett episode with some of my other collectibles. We do thank you for joining us today. We did take a break last weekend and didn't have an episode. We do have this one this weekend. And then hopefully we'll be dropping another episode next weekend. Now, for right now, that one will be the last one of the figure review from Hot Toys and Unboxing. I'm sorry, 2 more. We've got 2 more. Those would be the next episode, the next 2 episodes. I'm not sure in the order, but one will be about Stormtroopers, where we have a Stormtrooper from Ahsoka, which we see they call it a Night Trooper because they're kind of like zombies. I've told you about those. They're Grand Admiral Thrawn's troopers. We have an Incinerator Trooper, as we see in the first season of The Mandalorian, working for Moff Gideon. And we also have a 501st Clone Trooper, the Ahsoka one specifically, because it has like the painting of like Ahsoka's head. She has the white designs on her orange face, and they have painted that onto a helmet, and they were her clone troopers that she used, that were part of her battalion in the Clone Wars, along with Anakin, with her. We'll have that as a set of 3 together, and then we'll also have a one more, or maybe 2 more. I don't know. It might be 3 episodes. We have to do Quill from Mandalorian. Quill, he's already been unboxed, but like I said, we'll do a figure review kind of like we did with these 2. Quill, we have a set that had multiple Grogus and multiple Prams, as well as the first iteration of Din Djarin the Mandalorian, where he has on the scuffy brown armor and he hasn't got that new Beskar yet, which, if you'll recall, our second episode was the Beskar Mandalorian. So we've got to do those episodes, and then after that, we're going to do some individual reviews, but before that, we'll go over the whole room. We'll just kind of have an episode where we pan over the whole collection room. I'll point out a few things, and then we'll go over it individually with all the different collection. We'll have a Funko-specific episode. Might have to break that into a couple because I have a lot of Funko Pops. So we do thank you for joining us on the Imperial Collector. Please like and subscribe. If you are a Star Wars fan and you know other Star Wars fans, please tell them about this channel, the Imperial Collector. I do thank you for all your support and being a fan of Star Wars and also of the Imperial Collector. May the Force be with you.